So you've got a business and you've got a social media account and you're like, I want to start saving time with my social media. I need to make myself some templates, or I want to hire someone to make me some templates. Either way, you're going to have to do a couple of these things that I'm going to teach in this episode to help you think through what the heck you should post, what the heck you should create, and how to then go about creating those social media templates. So let's dive in. So hi, if we haven't met before, my name is Jacqui and I'm a graphic designer, and I love teaching business owners how they can create their own brand and graphics, but doing that really strategically, doing that really effectively, and doing that in a way that actually supports them as a business owner. And so today I want to talk you through how to actually make decisions around what to create for your social media templates, and how to actually go about that process. Like, what is the step-by-step process to doing this? And okay, not rocket science, but it is something you need to go through step by step. So step number one to creating your own social media templates is to work out what content you need. You need to actually be clear on the templates you need to create in order to create the templates. So many business owners I see, they jump onto Canva and they're like, yes, I'm going to start designing my social media templates. What am I designing? You need to know what you're designing. Like even if you hire a graphic designer, you still need to give them instructions around the kind of content you want them to create. And so sitting down and doing this step is really important. But there's a few little sub-steps in here that I'm going to give you some tips on how you can actually do this. So the first one is to really work out your brand and your message and what you actually want to share. Like, what season of business are you in? What do you need to be sharing for your business to grow? What kind of content do people actually want to see from you? All of that really strategic side. I'm not going to go into that now. I've done that in other episodes and will continue to do so. And I'm not a marketing strategist. I am a graphic designer. So go and follow some other marketing people as well. But in essence, you really need to think strategically around what content does my audience need to see, and what content does my business need to grow right now? Like if you're trying to grow a digital course, or if you're trying to grow a product, or if you're trying to grow services, or if you're just trying to connect with your audience, all of those different things will mean you're going to be posting slightly different content. So working that out first is really important so you can actually create the right kind of content. And so some things I recommend doing other than thinking about your business strategically is to find some social media people that you love. Like if you're on Instagram, for example, I'll probably use that as the example for most of this episode because that's where I hang out the most. So you would find an Instagram person that you love to follow. Like say it was me. So you might go onto my Instagram and be like, oh, I love how Jacqui's posting this kind of content and this kind of content. Oh, I love that post looks like that, or that this post looks like that, or she has those kind of cool reel covers. Whatever it is, actually start to really strategically look at the people that you like to follow and what they're doing. Ask yourself why you like to follow them, what kind of content they're sharing, and make sure you're looking at other business owners. Don't just look at that comedian you love to follow unless you are a comedian. Look at other business owners that are posting strategic content. If you're a jewelry maker, look at other jewelry makers. If you're a marketing strategist, look at other marketing strategists. You don't want to copy their content. I don't want you to linger on here for too long, but just start to see what kind of stuff they're posting, or even people that are in a similar industry, a similar field, but a different industry. Say, for example, I rarely look at other graphic design coaches, even though there's not that many of us. I usually look at marketing coaches as my example, just so that I'm not risking copying and comparing myself to other graphic designers. So even finding people that are in a similar kind of field to you and posting similar kind of content, but not in the exact same industry, so you're not risking copying or feeling like you're getting overwhelmed with comparison. So yeah, looking at other people and what they're posting and writing down a list of what they're posting and sharing, or even like saving their content. I wish I rarely scrolled social media from the idea of I'm just consuming content. I'm just like sitting here just scrolling for the sake of it. Usually I'm also paying attention to why someone's posting what they're posting, how that's worked. Like if I see a really great post, I ask myself, why was that a really great post? Was it their caption? Was it their design? Like what captured me? What drew me into that post? And then if I really like a post or a design of a post, I'll save that post so I can go back to it later when I'm crafting my content as inspiration. So being really strategic as you look at other people's Instagram feeds or whatever social media platform you're using of what's working and why is it working? Why is it attracting you? And doing that same kind of thing. So your posts might be something like you might do a couple of testimonial posts to begin to help people to trust you and to build that credibility. You might do a couple of classic sales posts where you have like a mock-up of your digital product or a picture of your product and you share what the value of that is. You might do lots of kind of value posts of maybe 5 tips to this, or a reel that's like 5 tips to that, or you didn't realize this, and start to kind of build out what kind of content you want to share. Because when you have that clarity, that's when you can start to create some templates for that. And you might realize, oh, actually, a lot of the content I like to consume is reels. And I think my audience is the same. So maybe I'm not going to create that many actual carousel posts. I'm going to create more reel covers, or even actually, I don't even want to create reel covers. I just want to create really aesthetic reels that I can just use a screenshot from that reel as the cover. Whatever that is, making a strategic decision around that is what you need to do. And that's going to help you to create your templates if you're going to create templates, or to not create templates if that's not the route you're going to go down. So finding that inspiration first is really important, and planning out what kind of content you want to share. That's step number one. Step number two is knowing your brand. So what should your graphics actually look like? If you open up my Instagram, my handle is whitedeergd, and you look and you scroll for a little while, you'll see there's a really big consistency in what I'm posting. Not only the kind of content that I'm posting, but also the way that it looks. Like when you see a white deer post, you're going to know that it's me. You're going to spot that purple, that blue, or that peach color. You're going to spot a picture of me, or you're going to spot my kind of font, or my clouds, or my bubbles, or whatever I'm using. And you're going to link that with me. And so your audience is doing the same thing with your brand. And so it's really important that you have branding and graphics and colors and fonts that are really consistent, so that your designs are connecting with your audience and they're forming that recognizability. And not getting, I did a post on this recently, and not getting bored of your posts. Like, my posts are all pretty same. And as a designer, I'm like, oh, I'd love to change things up. But one, that takes time that I don't have. And secondly, my audience is forming a connection with me and my brand because of that repetition, that consistency, that boringness. So for you as a business, you need to have a consistent brand that you can use for your social media templates. So thinking through, what are my brand fonts? What are my brand colors? What are my brand style? And what's my overall brand vibe? And then using that consistently. So knowing that first is really important. I have a plethora of resources on helping you decide your brand. I've got plenty of resources and videos, or if you'd like to, I have a free video series called the Seriously in Business Challenge. That's going to step you through my WOW model to actually helping you decide what your brand should look like and how to then make those decisions. So feel free to have a look at that if you want some more help with actually creating this style guide or this style for your business, so you can then create consistent graphics. Because when you can create consistent graphics, not only is your audience recognizing you, but you're also saving so much time creating your graphics, because you don't have to decide on what color or what font or what design to use. Those decisions are already made. So when you're then creating social media templates, you don't have to start from scratch. You've got a base to already work things from. Another tip to share in this area is, don't be afraid to reuse designs that you've just done. Like, say, for example, if you see my reel covers, for example, they're all pretty similar. They're all pretty much large text on my background. I might change up the color. I might add in a picture of me, or I might take out a picture of me. Other than that, they're pretty similar. And so don't be afraid to do things, as I said before, same. And so as you're creating your templates, think through, what kind of content do I need, and how much can I actually kind of just redo things, reuse things. I'm going to give a caveat to this as my last tip. So I'm going to pause that point and get back to it in a moment. The next thing you want to do is researching what your audience needs, kind of similar to that first step of working out your messaging and whatnot. But researching, what does my audience need? What kind of content are they going to be drawn to? Maybe looking back at your past posts and seeing what's performing. You can actually go to your Instagram's insights, for example, and see what posts, what time of day, what kind of posts have been your most popular posts compared to, like, you might want to check out the likes. You might also want to check out the shares and the comments and the saves. Sometimes I get more shares or comments than I do actual likes. And so looking at those other figures as well can be really, really useful. All right, so we're up to the next step now. So you've worked out what kind of content you want to post. You've done some research on what your audience might like. You know what your brand style is, which will save you so much time. You're welcome. Now it's time to create. And a really great base for doing this is, one, adding to your research step of not only just looking at what kind of content you want to create, but also looking at places like Pinterest. Not everyone remembers that you can use Pinterest for graphic design, and I think that is a huge loss. That's where I go for all my graphic design inspiration. There's other places as well, but Pinterest is the most versatile and most easy access for anyone. And what you can do is just search different phrases on there. You could even search like minimal graphic design, or feminine social media template, or bold social media post. Like, all of those different phrases. You noticed I added in a descriptive word. You can also just do social media post or graphic design as is. But if you add in that word to help, when you know what your business and brand is about, that will help you to find more templates that are going to be more suited to what your brand is thinking about looking like. And so doing research around inspiration as well can be helpful. And then so once you know what your brand will look like, then you can go into actually creating your templates. And I don't recommend starting from scratch. There is no need for you as a business owner to start from scratch at this point. If you want to not do this designing stage, you can just hire my studio and we can help you. Or if you want some help to do that, I have a course called DIY Design My Biz. And in there, I teach you not only creating your brand, but also how to create your social media posts and things to think about for that. There's whole lessons on it. But even if you're not doing either of those things where I support you, using your Canva templates, even if you just have Canva free, there are a heap of templates in there already. So open up a post on your Canva. So go to Canva, press create new design, select Instagram post size, and go to the template section under the design tab and search for the kind of post you want to create. Like if you want to do a testimonial, write testimonial, and there'll be a heap of testimonial templates that come up. If you want to do a quote post, if you want to do a 5-tip post, I literally type in 5 tips and up comes a heap of templates just for that. And so once you know what kind of content you want to create, you know what kind of brand you have, you can utilize these templates to actually find the template you need really quite quickly, and then to actually apply your branding to that. Because if you don't edit that Canva template, 1, it looks the same as everyone else's posts, and 2, it doesn't actually build your brand credibility, your brand loyalty, your brand recognition, because you're not using your own branding within that. And so what I recommend doing is finding a template that you might like, checking that it kind of fits your needs in terms of the kind of content you want to share, and then apply your branding to that content. So apply your colors, apply your brand style. There might be a cute element on there, but it's not your kind of brand style. Delete it and add in yours. Even if it's pretty, it's not your brand, it doesn't belong there. So editing those templates and making sure they actually suit your content and your brand style. And it literally can take you 10, 15 minutes to do that tweak rather than spending hours trying to create something from scratch. And then once you've got that, build up a little suite for yourself. You don't need your suite to be 20 templates large. You can do 5 to 10 templates, and that's kind of all you need for your business going forward. But the big clincher is that you want variation. Variation means that even though all your posts look similar in terms of their branding, they're not same in terms of it's boring. So say, for example, again, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see that there are posts that have just text, there are posts that have a picture of me and text, and there are posts that have more kind of information on them. If I was to do just the same kind of post over and over again, like just text or just pictures of me and text and over and over and over, it would get really boring. But there's not like 15 different sorts of layouts here. There's 3 or 4. And so if you have a few different sorts of layouts, you can then use that as a template base for yourself as you're then creating a social media post. So next time you have a post idea, you just open up your template file and you select the template that's the closest to what the kind of content you need to share, change the text, post it up, or change the text and then maybe change the colors to one of your other brand colors and post it up. It doesn't need to be this long drawn out process that you spend hours on. It's a process that because you've spent this time going through these steps that I've shared in this podcast, you've created yourself a solid base of templates, and then you can just come back to those and use them, pick and mix, grab and dash, do all those things, changing really quickly and posting it out there so that your time as a business owner is being quicker utilized, so that you're not wasting time, so that you're not getting bogged down in like, oh, if I do this small tiny tweak on this design, it's going to perform 50 times better. It's probably not. If you've thought through these foundations, if you've thought through your branding, you've thought through the kind of content you want to share, no amount of tweaking is going to make that design perform 50 billion times better. It's really just about getting those foundations correct and posting. You know, so many people just get stuck and never post. So I just want to encourage you in that. Create these templates for yourself and then go through and use them. Edit them slightly per different post, but don't spend hours changing them up. You've thought about those bases, you've got that foundation covered, and so do that first. So I hope that's been helpful for you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And if you've got some more episodes you'd love me to create, feel free to let me know. Feel free to send me a message on Instagram. My handle is whitedeargd. Just send me a message and say, Jacqui, love the podcast. Could you do an episode on this? Or if you would like some more specific support, I would love to work with you in any capacity, whether it's through that free challenge or through my course or through my studio. So thank you for joining me. If you love this episode, please either say hi in the comments if you're on YouTube, subscribe if you haven't already, and chuck me up a review if you are loving the episodes as well. I would love to know what you're thinking and feeling about the podcast, and leaving a review helps more business owners to be served by my content too, which is just a win-win for everyone. So thank you for being here, and I will see you next week for another episode. Bye.